Hey guys, how's it going? So I have a question for you guys. Who amongst the viewers here is actually stretching and doing some daily physical activity? Everyone? I see you in the back. I don't think you're stretching. Well, the reason that I'm saying that is that we have to, as a human body, move. And with age, people tend to get back into that fetus position, which means that as a fetus you're in this position. As a kid you're prone to do this, to be erect and straight, but then with time we tend to go back to that fetus position. And if we don't take a stand on it and we don't start working on our posture and flexibility, we tend to remain at that, which is still reversible most of the time, and you can get back to erect. But if you don't exercise, and specifically also a part for exercising, you have to do something like yoga, stretching, Zumba, whatever you want to call it, in order to basically negate the effects of aging and of bad posture. The thing is that the body is lazy. In nature, the reason that people have posture problems and people have a bunch of other issues in their body, such as muscle imbalances and all that, is that we tend to sit, we tend to walk in a certain way, we tend to do things in a way for one reason or another. And the thing is that the body is always trying to be as efficient as possible. So if it tries to be as efficient as possible, it tries to not work too much. It tries to stay at rest. So that's why people have bone spurs, or people have fused things in their neck. And the thing is that the body tries to get into a position where it doesn't have to do anything and it can just stay at rest. And by doing that, it can fuse discs, it can get you to have like a bad neck, it causes back pains, it causes so many things. So how they say, like, if you don't use it, you lose it, is kind of true. Basically, if you do not run, if you don't use a certain scale, if you don't stretch, then the body thinks, well, he doesn't need it to live, so let's take that energy and put it somewhere else and put it into something that will actually help him to survive, because obviously he doesn't need that super hearing or that super sight. I mean, if you think about it, how humans look nowadays, it's all a process of evolution. Our sight is different than the sight of a dog, as opposed to even the one of a fish, or the hearing, or the hair that we have, or the fact that we're bipedal and we're not on four legs, is all the product of evolution. The opposable thumb, which basically apparently is a trait that only highly mental and intelligent people will have. And that's why animals such as monkeys tend to have the hands, because they're able to do things with them, even though their IQ is lower than humans, even though we're not that different from all these animals, but that's a different subject. But yes, it's very important to exercise, to find a daily routine. You don't have to go crazy, because the thing is, people say sport is life is sport, but at the same time, sport can injure you. It can create bad things in your body if you overdo it. So try to find a way of being comfortable where you're able to exercise enough that you can counter the effects of aging. Because no matter what you do, people have different genes, obviously, and people will stay younger for longer periods of time, and people are more prone to certain injuries because that's just part of their body. But at the same time, if you can reinforce your core and your muscles, and you can stay flexible throughout your life, then you probably have a better chance of in your older days to actually be able to be mobile and to actually enjoy them. Of course, bear in mind, again, biology comes into play, and people also can get ill, and it's not a guarantee that you will be healthy at an older age, but at least you can first of all, you'll be able to live the life that you're living at this current moment better, because you'll feel better during your everyday life. But then at the same time, if you're one of the lucky ones that lives a long life, which actually most people do, then you're going to be able to live also those years, and at the same time it's going to counter even things such as dementia and Alzheimer's and all these things. It's kind of like, again, it comes back to, if you don't use it, you lose it. So even though I'm saying about the exterior, it's also important to work your brain, to read, to try to learn new things, to be active. But I did read an article, for example, that said that old people who attend dancing classes, social dancing classes, tend to have less dementia, and they tend to be more happy. And I think that comes with the fact that they have to learn something new. So I say, for someone who's living, that basically, even at whatever age you're at, take a class or try to learn something new, read a book, go outside. Don't just stay home and become a couch potato binge watching every single episode of a series on Netflix. There's no point. You can do that once in a while, but you have to also kind of explore the world too, especially if you're in a place like Los Angeles, like I am. It's always nice outside, even in winter, and it would be a disgrace to just stay at home and not do something fun at least once in a while. I do understand it's also nice to be at home, but if you're at home and you don't feel like going out, you can always read a book or just try to learn something new. After all, we do have the internet and stuff like that, so we have an enormous amount of ways of keeping ourselves busy, but at the same time, keep your body healthy. You have to move, you have to walk, you have to not just eat junk food, and hopefully you can counter as much as you can the inevitable fact that we are going to get old. But there are some people that are in their 90s, well in their 90s. I used to work in a theater, and it was amazing. They basically had such a great sense of humor. They walked very straight. They didn't have walkers, no wheelchairs, none of that, and they seemed to be fine. And obviously, if they're going to the theater, it means that they're actually getting out of the house and they're doing things. They're trying to learn new things. They're trying to, it's something to talk about. If they have a friend, if they have something, some family, they can talk about the show, talk about the play. But yeah, I mean, literally, it's pretty simple. All you need to do is write it down on your Google Calendar or whatever, and whatever means you basically have of keeping a tab of your schedule, and just set aside 30 minutes a day or 20 minutes a day even. I think ideally you should at least put in 30 minutes, and honestly, everybody's able to put in 30 minutes. You make time to go to the toilet, you make time to eat, so you have to make time to just exercise, even lightly, and stretch. Okay? Well, that's it for today. Have a great day. Bye.